We begin this episode by acknowledging the Wurundjeri and Boonwurrung people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional custodians of the land on which we record and share these stories. We pay our deepest respects to their elders, past and present, and recognise the wisdom, connection, and culture that have shaped these lands for thousands of years. As we journey beyond the veil, we do so with gratitude, respect, and an awareness of those who walked before us, honouring their wisdom, their connection to the land, and their stories woven into the fabric of time. May we listen, learn, and tread lightly, carrying forward their legacy with integrity and heart. Welcome to Beyond the Veil Australia, where history, mystery, and the unexplained collide. From eerie encounters to cryptid lore, from channeled messages to scientific investigations, we're lifting the veil and stepping into the unknown. I'm Heather, your guide through the shadows, and together we'll unravel paranormal phenomena, strange synchronicities, and the mysteries that refuse to be ignored. Whether you're a skeptic, a seeker, or somewhere in between, this space is for you. Fasten your seatbelt, expand your thinking, and get ready to cross the threshold with Beyond the Veil Australia podcast. Not every haunting begins with fear. Sometimes it begins with curiosity, a shared glance in a dim hallway, a laugh-breaking tension in the old attic. This is In the Spotlight, where we gather not just to chase shadows, but to ask what they mean. And in today's episode, I'm so pleased to welcome two storytellers whose work remind us that ghost hunting can be romantic, reflective, and real. Monique and Anthony are the creators of Date Night with the Ghost Gang. They bring more than EMF readers and camera gear. They bring warmth, they bring trust, and they bring a kind of reverence for mystery that turns each investigation into an invitation. Monique's intuitive grace listens beyond the static, and Anthony's grounded precision steadies the moment. Together, they open doors, both literal and liminal. So, Monique and Anthony, welcome to the circle, and it's such an honour to have you both here tonight. I'm so blessed to be able to have a chat with you guys. So welcome.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. And I'm so excited to be able to delve into this with you guys because I have been keeping up with your channel amongst the chaos of life, and some of the evidence that has been captured has just been phenomenal. And I know that word gets thrown around a lot, but honestly, some of the EVPs that I've heard that you've been able to play back on review, and they just, boom, you can hear them. So, I was so excited. But I guess to sort of start at the beginning, what drew you both first into the paranormal?
Okay, well, for me, it was when I was about 12 years old. And it was really my first paranormal investigation, I guess, a mini little one. I was with my sister and a group of kids just sitting around the lounge room. We had the TV on and we were telling ghost stories. So, and someone mentioned another kid around our age who had been riding his bike locally. He went down through the bush over this little bridge that went over a creek, and he's come off his bike, landed in the creek, hit his head, and he drowned.
Oh my goodness.
We were discussing that, and it was really strange because the TV, and this is back before remote controls, the TV, the volume started fluctuating, and we started laughing, saying, oh, maybe that's him. And I said, oh, let's test it. And I said, hey, I can't remember his name. Let's just say Mark, okay? And I said, hey, Mark, can you make the volume go up? And I kid you not, the volume increased and there were a few little squeals and
I can imagine.
and then I said, can you go down again? And it responded. And this happened every time I would say it because somebody else tried and nothing happened. And
Wow.
every time I requested this kid to adjust the volume of the TV, it would happen. And to me, that was illuminating. And I thought, okay, there are ghosts out there. Spirit's real. This is amazing. And that for my sister and I, she's only 3 years older than me. That was the start of our journey. So from that point, we always spoke about ghosts and spooky things. We'd watch scary movies and it was amazing. So that was my first experience that put me on the path.
Wow, that's awesome. And it's funny with the TV thing. It wasn't when I was a kid. It was probably in my mid-20s. I had something similar happen, but it was like it was probably a 2015 age TV. So like it was more smart TV, but not like what we've got now. And yeah, had the same thing happen. And it was almost like, is this for fucking real? Like,
Yeah.
So it's really cool to hear that someone else has had that same kind of experience, because it's like you can't just sort of put it down to being like, oh, there's something going on with the TV, because if it's responding like when you ask a question,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, fuck, bit creepy, but super cool.
And it's the only time it happened. The TV
Wow.
lasted years. It was one of those ones from 70s, 80s, you know, the brown wood grain TVs that
Yep.
you physically get up and change
Yep, the dial.
It was one of those. No one sitting in the corner with a remote control. It wasn't invented then.
Yeah, no, that's right. I think I didn't like the first remote come out sort of like late 80s, and even then it was like on an actual cord that
And you had to be one of the wealthy people to have one of those.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my God, wow.
yeah, you know.
That's awesome. What a
Yeah.
cool story. And what about you, Anthony? What's sort of drawn you into the paranormal?
Wasn't as long back as what Mon just said. It was probably about 3 years.
Okay.
So well, I've always had an interest in the scary movie side of things. Right? I always love a bit of a jump scare. And about 3 years ago, Mon started just, I don't know, it just came about. We have real, like we're saying as married couples, real limited time. So yeah, we wind down, you watch traditionally the Netflix or something else, a documentary, and Mon puts on a paranormal YouTube show of some kind. I can't remember what it was.
I think it was Ghost Adventures or something.
Yeah, maybe something like that. And I've just
Yeah.
lent it, and I thought, oh, this is kind of interesting. I was doing something else and went back again. I said, yeah, this is what's going on here. And I started asking these questions, and Mon explained the scenario. And the first thing my mind starts thinking about is, okay, I'm watching a production, so yeah, how real is this? First and foremost. So, yeah, these guys, have they overproduced it? You know, how are they grabbing this content? But then at the same time immersing myself in their adventure. So I actually really was getting just getting drawn into this whole paranormal realm. And then one show became two, became three. Then we started discovering, some of our favorite YouTubers now be with like the Overnight Channel and Elton Castay and Twin Paranormal and Project Fear. And there was a lot of these people were finding that we absolutely loved their personality, but I started studying the art of what they were doing. And that led over to mine, and I said, maybe we could do something and just take me on a ghost hunt. But I think we need some equipment. She goes, like what? And I said, I don't know. And while we're watching the show, Mon's watching the show, I'm on my phone Googling where to buy all this stuff from, right? And I've put the first shopping list together. I've gone, bam, just purchase. Okay, there you go, Mike. She goes, you haven't done this, have you? I said, yeah, I have. Because my mind just works in a way like I'm ADHD, you know, it's all or nothing in my head. Yeah, we can high five.
We can totally high five. Look, I don't have an official diagnosis, but look, I'm pretty certain that's in there.
That non-official diagnosis right off the topic real quick. This is how I go on my tangents. when I had an appointment with my counsellor one day, and she said, do you ever get tested for ADHD? I said, never in my life. She goes, well, I can't formally diagnose you, but I'll run you through a quick test. And I said, okay, fine. I said, so what's the gauge of score? And she goes, anything 3 to 4, you know, as a number, yeah, pretty much got some you know, serious traits. So I said, okay, how'd I score? She goes, 13. I went, yes. Great. I can't wait. So that explains so much about my life right now.
Oh my God. And you know what's funny? The number 13 may be unlucky for some, but there are some of us out here, myself included, that the number 13 is actually strangely a really lucky number. And I reckon you're on the lucky number 13 with me.
I've jumped on the train, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And so more indirectly created a monster within myself by encouraging to watch these shows together. Yeah, and then that was, you know, one investigation at the, was it Old Picton Tunnel?
Okay.
We don't live far from Picton. And someone said, okay, we've got a place I can take you. So I ended up going there and got that whole adrenaline rush and everything. Oh, we're doing something we shouldn't be doing. That's number one, because during the day it's accessible. At night you just got to weave your way around. And we found our way around a few places just to you know, add a bit of extra adrenaline rush to our you know, to what we call now our date nights. And I just became obsessed. You know, it's like something where I didn't have a lot of experiences at the time, and I'm more susceptible now through what we've been doing for the past couple of years than I've ever been, as far as being a skeptic to a believer. I was a skeptic at first that needed the equipment to show me that if it's not a human setting this equipment off, this equipment isn't faulty. So, you know, when the EMF field is broken in a lot of these devices, or someone walks in front of a motion sensor or touches a motion cat ball, or you get those voices on the EVP. I mean, the recorders are designed just to pick up when voices are recording. It stops recording otherwise. And, yeah, this stuff to me was my reassurance. One, being spiritually driven, was again encouraging me to not look so much at the equipment, but use myself as a device and means of investigating, which I still struggle to this day, but I have started feeling more and more and more and more. But I love this. Like, I mean, I love it to a point, like such a deep passion that we've created together to do, and what we've experienced is, yeah, has been stories that we can say that, yeah, are unexplainable.
So first paranormal experience was maybe going to the tunnel, right?
It would have been the tunnel. That would be it. Yeah, absolutely. And I went there once, then went back again, and then went back again, then started bringing some of my friends to say, hey, you have to come here with me because I have to show you what I just experienced. So I didn't feel crazy, right? Because they'd all turn around to me and they go, what are you doing? Straight away, like, you are nuts. What are you doing? Delving into something that should remain untouched. But I just wanted to open the world to myself and realize that this is a fucking awesome adventure. Like, seriously, it's amazing.
So much fun.
So much fun. Like,
absolutely. And it shows when you guys are investigating, it shows that you're not just there to go, oh my God, we have to catch ghosts. It's you see when you do get something, whatever that might be, like a knock, or you catch something quickly fleeting through a camera, or you pick up the EVP, or you have like the loudest knock or a door slam or anything. There's this level of, you know, authenticity in the way that you're just kind of like, we're going in here to almost, even though we know something could be here, we're almost trying to debunk it to, you know, show that, well, how could there be anything here? And then when something does come up, and you're kind of like, okay, well, it's not the wind, and it's not this, and it's not whatever. And you go through that process of trying to eliminate things. And then you've also got Mon's gift with being able to kind of go, yeah, no, that I can validate that, and the equipment validates that, and it is authentic. And I love that about your channel. And
that means a lot, because that's
yeah,
the biggest
That's
thing.
exactly what we want to
It's no bullshit.
bring forward.
Yeah,
That's us.
Yeah.
And I've said from the beginning, I want this to be authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's what we've managed to do. It's a quite, I don't know, it's such a niche market, and people are so critical.
Oh, absolutely. And you don't need to be, like, people shouldn't need to feel that they can be critical. Like, this is you guys' experience, and you're documenting that. And if people are going to be fuckwits about it, then jog on. You know, like, you guys are putting yourselves out there. You're sharing who you guys are and something that you love doing. And that's what I connect with, because I'm the same. That's why I started the podcast, because it's something that I'm really good at talking, and I love the paranormal. So
perfect combo.
Goes hand in hand. Yeah. It's beautiful.
And that was the thing. Even if it's it could be criticism, it could be still deemed as a conversation, something that we don't disregard. I mean, if someone wants to be a little skeptical about something and come back to us, I mean, if it creates conversation, it just opens someone else's mind to what we have experienced, and possibly, is that real? That's the first thing. Because I still, to this day, no matter how many hundreds of videos we have watched, and from these guys that that I would say, initially I had a paranormal man crush on, because I thought these guys were phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
And I still to this day do. So if they ever listen and catch on to this stuff, we're coming for you. We want to do a collab. Elton, James, you name it.
Everybody, all the paranormal investigators out there, this is it. You've got it right here.
We're the goods, and we're gonna but I just think that from where it's been to where it's grown, like you said, the authenticity is huge. And if we can share, we do it because of the fact that we have, which is how the channel came about. I mean, it's a couple's date night. No candle dinners, no movies. A very occasional trip to a movie now, but we go through.
Say no, I prefer to go ghost.
Yeah, we go drive. It's like, so that's a drive through Macca's or somewhere to go and get dinner, and then we hit up an investigation for 6 to 8 hours. But we do it, when you do it with the person that you love, and the quality time you're sharing together. It's a weird way of saying it, isn't it? Because it's like the quality time. It's just absolutely it's memorable.
It's better. Like, we used to go to fancy restaurants and a movie and the theatre, and I'd never say no to the theatre.
Yeah, love
I
it.
love the theatre.
Love getting dressed up, gowned up, and all that sort of stuff.
Of course, absolutely.
But this is up there. And if someone said to me, "Do you want to go paranormal investigating or to the theatre?" I'd say, "Can I go to the theatre next week?"
It does. Yeah. It takes it's funny when you kind of love what you do, the passion, the effort doesn't become overwhelming to do it. Not at all. No matter what industry or whatever anyone does, we always say never work a day in your life if you love what you do.
It's true. No matter how tired you are.
Yeah,
no matter how tired you are,
this stuff. Yeah,
we push ourselves to keep going until like 2, 3 in the morning if we have to. It's amazing.
Absolutely. And like you were saying, like it if you're doing what you love doing, it doesn't feel like work. It's and that's the biggest form of self-care. Like, here I am just popping into my professional thing at the moment, but one thing that I learned through just my own personal journey and just the type of work that I'm in is that self-care is really important. And we hear a lot about self-care being a thing as on an individual level, but it's got to be on an individual level. But if you're in a relationship as well, and you might have different interests, and that's fine. But if you found that one thing that you both just are able to build an even stronger connection on, that you both enjoy doing, some people might go, "Oh, you're going on a date night and you're going ghost hunting." And they might look at you weird, and you kind of go, "But that's who we are. That's what we love to do. This is what connects us. This is bringing a new level to who we are as people and in a relationship, and we just love to do it. And if it makes you happy, that's even better. Like, I agree with that. And I think even like, we were saying before we jumped on, like, I'm really interested in going to this expo in an old prison in Geelong, and my husband is quite skeptical, or not even skeptical of the paranormal. I think he's just afraid of it. But he was one of the ones that was kind of like, oh, that would be really fun to go to. And I'm like double taking, like, did that just come out of your mouth? Like, are you the same person that spoke to me last week about the fact that you're like, it creeps me out? But we've done that now. And I thought to myself, I actually thought about you guys and went, I love this. This is almost like a little mini version of it, where it's like you go out and you do a little market and you get to go and have like a little self-guided tour. He's probably not going to like the paranormal stuff, but I will.
Yeah, secretly. Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah. That's it. I can hear. Thank you for knocking on the bars. I really appreciate it. Oh, that's so good. But like, I guess to follow up, because we've obviously just talked about what's sort of drawn you in and a bit of your journey, was there any sort of moments, whether it be like a particular investigation, or was there like a series of those that kind of both made you go, this could be like something that we do as a YouTube channel? Like what sort of happened for it to get into that space? Like, where was that revelation for that?
Well, it was really all the equipment.
Yep, that'll do it.
I said, Anthony,
I couldn't stop purchasing
we
stuff.
need to document this because people are going to love it.
Yep.
It's us. It's not produced. And I said, if you're spending all this money on the equipment, you've got to do something with it.
Yeah, I'd find one camera and then I'd go and watch guys on YouTube, and I'd look at, and you know what, I'd be watching what they're like, how they're investigating. But the first thing I look at is the camera they got, and I pause it, take a photo on my phone, call the contacts of the good guys that I know, and I said, listen, I need this camera. He goes, what for? And I told him. He says, you're fucking kidding, aren't you? And I said, no. I said, you just got to let me roll with this. Don't think of me any less than what, this is where I'm at. I'll explain to you more about it later. But yeah, it just kept like the obsession to buy the equipment, and just have those gadgets and everything. I'm not very IT savvy, but I really taught myself about this side of it because I had such a passion in trying to work out how to get definitive proof of the the paranormal realm. We were dabbling in it so much, and it's like, okay, this is the thing. I remember you saying, you said before, but it's like 3 years in the making. It wasn't instantaneous. Mon hit me up so much about saying maybe we should do a YouTube channel. And I said, no, we're not going to fucking do one. Maybe we should. No, we're not. No, we're not. And I just kept putting my foot down. And she goes, what are you going to do with it? I said, we'll just archive it. It's like,
no, don't take the camera. There's no point. And he said, well, we'll keep it for like a family.
A nice old grey sitting back in the rocking chairs, and we go, hey, yeah, remember that?
No, you're taking the joy away. Like, you've got the camera. I got all excited. Let's just do it. And
then one drive to one of our date nights, we inspired ourselves by creating. We thought, look, ghost gang's been used. I love it, and we thought, okay, we need to put a bit of a twist on it. But then, how is it making what we're doing something different to what everybody else is doing? Mon came over and said, date night with the ghost gang. I said, you're on the ball. I said, it's perfect. And before you know it, I've got designers creating video animation, logos, this. I've reached out to all these people, and they're all coming on board to help out, just try and get something happening. Yeah, like
yes.
So we got some.
I love it.
Yeah. And we did that for initial drop, just to get a taste of it. And we thought, okay, this could be something down the track. And so date night with the ghost gang became the name, a company name. And started having the inspiration for YouTube, becoming a content creator. That was it. And that was only fresh, because it wasn't very long ago. And one of those videos, the Parramatta Jail one, which was one of the first ones that we actually dropped on the channel, that was a video that was over 1.5 years ago. And it's only been dropped 3 weeks ago. And we held on to it for nostalgic purposes, because you can't actually physically go back to the Parramatta Jail.
No.
The government put it off for tourism and for people to investigate. They were even doing TV shows and filming, for part TV series, I think, at some time as well.
movies
Yeah, for location. And they closed it all off. And so we were the last ones to actually film anything in there. By pure.
Wow.
Yeah. And we just thought we have to use that, even though it's not up to scratch.
Well, no, up to scratch is not the.
No, it's good. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But we've come a long way since then. So from where we are now, looking back, saying, I don't know, is it good enough? But I said we have to put it up because it's nostalgic. No one's going there anymore. And we really connected with some of the spirits there and kind of miss it.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah,
just
loved
a beautiful
it there.
place. It's absolutely.
We had
that's awesome.
some of our best experiences there.
But that started initially too, like we were wanting a group of 30, and we're going as a paranormal group on a ghost tour and a ghost hunt. And we just became really good friends with the organizers, and when they started seeing what we were doing, and the interest we were showing, and the respect, the professionalism that we were showing when it came to investigating, we started getting our own free time. And then instead of turning up in the group where I'd have a little GoPro or something, I turned up and we looked like a production team. Like we'd have practical equipment, multiple cameras. And a beautiful lady, Pete from Happy Ghost Tours in Sydney, she gave us her blessing and said, you can have your free time. You get 6 hours free time. This is where you can go. She took the tour on another part of the actual jail. And that's when we started doing the content.
That's when we started getting really excited.
Yeah, because it was amazing because people started seeing us in the light we saw ourselves. And it's one thing to say you want to do paranormal investigating, but it takes a skill. It takes a hell of a lot of patience.
Yeah, hard work.
Yeah, a lot of hard work. But we always... We realize now, and I'm an impatient son of a bitch, right? So
it's relatable. I got it.
And we turn up, and Mon taught me in time that you have to be patient. Spirits don't react just because you're there, and I've learned this. I can say I've matured quite a lot when it comes to it, because you can have the most haunted place on the planet. You could go there with intent to film 8 hours of straight content, get absolutely fucking nothing, have to come back, right?
Exactly.
The place is less haunted, right? And so we started learning that, and sometimes you come back a little disappointed, but we didn't, because it was still our date night. We're going on an adventure. We're going down dark freaking corridors, doing little challenges for ourselves, turning the cameras off, going for wanders, scaring the shit out of ourselves and trying to be scared with what's actually happening. And so that's where the authenticity of our reactions are there as well. We don't put anything on. I'm too fucking old for that shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it really comes down to. It's like, you see us for what we are and who we are as a couple. Like, I'm really happy you like the content, because the stuff that we've captured recently, and that was the biggest, I suppose, it's spine chilling, and it just it doesn't leave you. You know what I mean? It's like we'll get to that a little bit down the track too with tonight's little chat, right? But
yeah. Oh, I was going to say, if you've got something that's come to mind, like, let's just keep rolling with it. If it's there, let's just keep going with it, because now I'm intrigued. You've got me on the edge of my seat now, Anthony.
Yeah.
You can tell the story. It was the Arrowdale Asylum.
Yeah, and we put a couple of Mon's managing the socials, so she put a couple of raw reels up. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Crikey. Raw reel. What a bit of
raw reel.
Yes. What happened to my mouth? Raw.
And we got a slow, what is it? Speak clearly and round your words.
I have sometimes, when I film content, right, I say some shit, I go, what the hell did you just say? That's got to get edited straight away, because some of the things you overthink, right?
Yes.
What's this?
You've got to listen to this, Heather.
What's this?
Okay, I've got it. We were at the quarantine station in Manly, and if Death had
Sorry?
Death had a smell.
No. No, I'm not saying that.
What you're talking about?
Oh, it's so
She's
dumb.
saying.
I'm walking down this freaking in the shower block, and I go, I don't know what came over me. I just wanted to have a Hollywood moment. I said, if death had us in a real deep voice, you got to imagine this, like bigger than what I'm talking now. So it's like, if death had a smell, this will be it right now. It's like,
What? Death
I just started to go,
smell.
like, what the hell?
It's
I
a
know,
smell.
no shit. I'm standing in a place where 1,000 people died. I'm smelling death right now.
I
It's
could not stop laughing when I saw the video, and I said, Anthony, you have to leave that in there.
And guess what?
He cut it.
Oh,
You're the
is
only
that
one
just?
that was.
I'm shattered now. I mean, the story is great, but I would almost really love to see that because
It's so bad. I don't know.
oh,
It's when you've got to flip the camera on yourself because I'm always filming everyone else. So I thought, okay, it's coming around, bang, and this is what I said. I could have said anything.
He gets upset sometimes because I'm mostly on camera, and he's
upset. Almost upset.
yeah. He had
Like
to
a
have his.
wink.
He had to have his. If death had a
No,
smell.
no, deeper than that. Come on. If
I
death
can't
had a
do
smell.
that.
that's a whole octave down. We can't get that far.
So look, that was the moment. Now completely sidetracked. We're talking about Arradale.
Yes.
We could talk about the quarantine later. Yeah, but
Yeah.
we went on a Victorian road trip. So 5 days away, had Beechworth Jail, Beechworth Asylum, and we were finishing it off at Arradale Asylum. And this is where the story goes because the first two places, as beautiful as they were to walk through this architecture and just get immersed in the whole environment, Beechworth is probably one of the most haunted places on the planet. Didn't give us much. Right? Yeah, incredible place. Like there was some things that happened, and we got a bit. We were quite shocked.
So we're going back.
So yeah, we're
Love it.
We're hitting it up again, and we're probably
October.
in September, October. We'll go back again. But I said to Mon, maybe Arradale. It's all about Arradale, and we got there, and that place just creeped the shit out. Like it was. Oh my gosh! It's like. From the initial drive up the mountain to the hill to the gates to us standing up the front, even doing 10 takes of an intro, to walking, like everything about this place as you were just panning around it was eerie. It just took
It was like
it was part of your soul, and it was just saying, "I've got something. I'm going to take you somewhere tonight." And
it was like something out of the movies. And
Yeah.
it was so active tonight. You guys are so lucky because it's not always like this.
We just feel like they
This
tend to
place turned me into a 100% believer. I want to always debunk things, and there was just no explanation. I could not debunk anything.
So we like it. I like getting scared. I be straight up front because I think
we all do.
the vulnerability. Say that word. Say it.
Vulnerability.
Thank you. So again, my mouth's all dry from the espressos. The vulnerability. I can't say it. No, I can't say it. You're going to cut this part out again.
No, it's fine. Do you know what? I trip over words all the time, and I'm just like, how hard is it to just say a word?
You're vulnerable. That's it.
Yeah.
In that way. Okay, and but I think you saw maybe in one of the reels that Mon put up on TikTok, and it was the kitchen it was off the main ballroom of one of these buildings we're in, and we did 3/4 of the investigation in the dining room, and we had the REM pod music box devices were going off, and we're getting a little bit of activity, but we said we've got to go back to the kitchen and check this out because we did a pretty quick tour of it beforehand. This place was enormous. You've got this range. Imagine the range of the. Have you been to Arradale before?
You've probably been there.
I personally I haven't, and it's funny because it's a place where I always thought, for me, I've always been like, I feel like I could investigate in a jail, but a mental asylum, I was always like, because I've had a lot of mental health, I'm like, I already know it's going to be like psychic attack because they can go, you understand us, and just boom.
It's true.
And even if you were to do all of your protection ritual things that you do for yourself, you sort of know there's still going to be someone or someones, being plural, that will fuck with you a little bit. And I think there's something about Arrowdale that it's like, I'm really impressed by it. And I've seen a lot of like video and things like that of Arrowdale, but there's that part of me that's like, I really want to, but there's that other part of me that's going, don't be a fucking idiot, because you're going to pay for it if you do go, which is sort of disheartening, because there's that part of me that's like, I really want to fucking go, but the other part of me that's like, don't do it.
It's your intuition.
Yeah.
Definitely. But
Yeah.
we had amazing experiences.
Amazing experiences. One, you can actually, you can have the experience in person. That's another thing to actually get it all on camera.
Yes.
And that's what surprised the Dallas at me, because it's always a lot of times, it always might be overshadowed by something. It might be our walking, it might be our breathing. Something just makes what we experience less dynamic. Okay,
yeah.
So when we look back through the content, and in this kitchen, we walk in. I had one intention. I just had to do an EVP in there, but I hated the feeling of it because we went through. There was a massive bench, and behind that there was an old chopping block. The old chopping block hadn't been touched since it closed down, so it still had the remnants, the blood stains, the smell, from all the produce and the meat that they carved up there. And we're standing a good couple of meters away from that. And as we're in there, I just only had a couple of devices. Didn't put the REM pods and all the other stuff that we had in there. We just took, it's called an epoch box, and it's a yes-no device, which is all EMF based. So if the spirits manipulate that and break that EMF field, it just responds by yes or no in a real deep voice, deeper than my death voice. It's like,
oh my God, that sounds like it'd be a fun tool to play with.
It's great. So so you can get these direct answers, and very accurate answers, from time to time. And we've walked in there, and Mon didn't want to be there, because as soon as we walk in there, the device in my hand goes, no, no, no. It just repeats it constantly.
I just kind of
and she froze, and I'm holding on to her. And we said, I think there were comments like, I'm grabbing onto Mon like a human EMF, right? Because I said, you're not going anywhere. You have to stay with me, because for whatever reason, I froze. And as we said, just be quiet one second, but you can't go anywhere. Stay, stay, stay. The loudest dragging noise I've ever heard, that sounded like, if you imagine a sack of potatoes being dragged and then dropped on the floor, which again to me just feels like it was a body being dragged, behind the actual bench. It's on camera. There's no explanation. We're the only ones in the building, because each place we went to, Diana, our guy, turned around and she said, how long would you like here? We say, 45 minutes, an hour and a half. She goes, beautiful. I'll see you in an hour's time. And just leave us, which is great. So no one else was around. We had the whole place to ourselves, and that's the initial reason we do these tours, because we can get solo investigations now. And that lifts it another level. It's one thing to be part of a group, and I think the energy of a lot of people can drive the energy of the spirits, but I find it very distracting. And I don't tap in when there's a lot of people around, and I
just wall up.
I can't do it. I've tried so many times. So having this place to ourselves, the biggest asylum in the Southern Hemisphere, it's like, bring this shit on. We're ready. But as soon as this noise happened, I said, we go, if you watch it, what the hell is that dragging noise? And Mom goes, I'm out of here. She said straight away, I said, you're not going anywhere. Stay here. Like, seriously, because you're going to leave me here. I couldn't even take a step forward to go and see what was behind the bench.
Yeah, right. It was like that almost like that energy field, like you're physically being held back, like you can't break through. I know the feeling you're talking about. It's
brightness, everything syncs up, it's like, and we always say to each other, it's about facing our fears. And that's where people think we're really cooked, when we say what we love doing as a couple. But we didn't move. We didn't stay there long. But as soon as that happened, we heard we did. We heard a voice, and again, it's on the camera, and and that again, I was trying to work out whether that were the guides coming back in, because the lady and her daughter turned up a couple of minutes after that. And you can hear their voices, and their voices are different to what was captured on the actual audio. That stays with me all the time, because I've heard, we've heard footsteps. I've heard footsteps so close to me on a timber decking where Mon didn't hear it, and I said to the guide at the time, different place. I go, he just looks at me and goes, "What did you hear?" I said, "Footsteps." And I said, "That's common." He goes, he just smiles. I said, "Oh, fair enough." I play it down like
That was at the
quarantine station. So these things are becoming more and more apparent, like they're more and more real. I have no explanation. We try and debunk this, but in Narradale as well, it's like this was the scariest experience, but something that really made us both walk away, and we went, "Holy crap!" And when you have the guide saying that, "I can't believe how active it was. You guys are really lucky." I think there's just, I don't know, I call them on the ghost magnet, because wherever she goes, the spirits tend to follow.
I think it's like, because our combined energy, we're so passionate about it. We're fun. I think we lift the energy.
Absolutely.
And they're drawn to that.
Absolutely. I was just about to say exactly what you said, Mon, is that they, that skeptic part of you goes, "Oh, they don't know." But that part of you that's really in tune knows that they will present themselves to the people that are authentic, and they're not coming to take the piss. They're not coming to exploit them or anything like that. And I think for me, for a while, very similar is that there's that energy thing when you're going on a tour. And my concern anytime with going on a tour is I'm going to pick up everybody else's energy, and I'm not going to be able to connect with what's actually here. And I don't want to get drawn into hysteria. Sounds like a really nasty word, but I mean it in the most nicest way possible. But that traditional meaning of the word hysteria, where it's just like, boom, something happens and the energy ramps up because people are just like, bang, fear, and it just lifts it. And then you're picking up on everyone else's fear and adrenaline. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
When that we provoke, but we provoke out of respect. Like,
correct.
So we have to push, and it's not antagonizing, but at times, when who you're dealing with is a darker entity, and they may be the controlling spirit in the area you're investigating. Yeah, you can push them a little bit harder. You can be a little bit more cheeky with them. 100% respectful. Maybe a tad reckless from time to time. That's all I'm going to say.
You wouldn't be human if you weren't a little reckless from time to time.
A little bit, yeah. A few regrettable moments, but other than that, it's been. But yeah, that was one incident, and there was another one that was there as well, but in a different building of. Was that one?
The tapping.
The tapping, yeah, the tapping.
Well, banging.
Well, it was aggressive. We heard the footsteps. The story goes, we heard footsteps as we were investigating the lower level of this building. But the heaviest footsteps you could imagine, I couldn't replicate. I tried to stomp my ass off upstairs, and we could hear the floorboards creaking when we were walking, but there was no creaking of floorboards. It was just a thud that actually echoed all the way through the ceiling, like real heavy boots. But Mon's finger is going, like, she's direct.
Following it.
Yeah, and we could hear it. And I've got the camera on mine. I'm going, "What the hell is that noise?" I said, "Tell me there's someone upstairs." And the guy'd say no. I said, "But
we're the last people in the asylum."
Yeah, everyone.
Oh my gosh.
The last tour finished at like 10:30 or something.
Yeah, we didn't leave till like 2:30 or 3 in the morning, close to. So it was a massive night. And mine was like shell shocked. I was shell shocked. I turned to Di and I said, "Di, we have to get upstairs, like now." And she looked at me like she was a little reserved.
Nervous.
100%, because she hasn't heard anything that dominant before. And expressed there was a male entity upstairs, and he's pretty pissed, right? He's not a comfortable.
Should I heard something along the lines of, "I hope it's not who I think it is."
Yeah, that's right.
Let's go up.
So we rushed up there as quick as we could, and we would never have found the stairwell because of how big this building was. But we got up there, and then we called out for this guy. and said, look, we've heard you. So make yourself known now. It's okay, because we're, you got to say it, but you are sort of,
Shitting yourself.
Yeah. I'm crapping my pants, but I'm saying, no, we're not, you know what, we're not afraid. Like, so whatever you've got to show us, let's go. Like, it's game time. And
you've been stomping around like a bear with a sore head or a toddler having a temper tantrum. I'm fucking listening. Come on, get on with it.
This is quick answer. I say, come at me. I'm ready. Let's go. But what the tapping was light, and on the back window and the back timber, I don't even know the divide. It's like a bench.
Partition.
It's like a partition.
Kind of divide up beds, I guess.
And there was
right.
No, there's 2 or 3, I think, from memory, and it started from the very end of the room, and we heard it, and it got all, like 4. It was 3 or 4, 3 at first, because I made a big deal about the tapping in 3s, right? And one says, and so I said, "Can you repeat this?" I've done the 3 taps, and I said, "I don't like this," and one turns around and says, "But you did it." I said, "Yeah, but I only." You know, my justification is I only did it because he did it. Right? So,
it's not my fault. It's the spirit's fault. I didn't do this. I didn't start it.
It's actually peer pressure from a fucking spirit. I mean, come on, this is what's happening. So I've turned around and replicated it, and then we're just standing in silence, and it just gets closer and closer. And the closer it gets, it got so fucking aggressive, and it was so loud, and it's all on camera.
Wow.
When
it's right in front of us,
like 3 foot away, banging. Like it started off tap, 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 and then it ended up going bang, 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 right in front of us. So you're looking at it.
Yeah, I looked at mine, and mine.
It's like I know where that's coming from, but there's nothing there.
So the first comment I think on the reel is, "What the hell was that?" Like coming out of mine. But mine afterwards said that's the most scared she's ever been.
Ever. Me ever. Now I'm like, I don't understand.
I'm sort of ready to go back, right? Because like, to me, I always explained it like that initial rush is it's a drug. The paranormal, right? Someone can jump out of a plane to get the rush. Someone can race fast cars, whatever that sort of thing, go bungee jumping. For myself, and I know mine appreciates that about me, and the enthusiasm I show. That is the initial rush every time I step into a place, because it's the unknown, and to get the best results, you have to be vulnerable. You have to let your guards down, and be susceptible to everything and anything that's around you, where no one really likes doing that, because we live a very protected life. You know, as a parent, you just spend all your life just, building up walls to try and just bubble wrap your kids until they're 25. I mean, you just don't want to let go of them, right?
30.
Yeah.
30, yeah. Mine's firstborn, he still wraps him in bubble wrap, you know?
He'll always be in bubble wrap.
But,
they all will.
But we did that. And to make this work, we look at each other and go, you can't have that. It's completely and utter, just honest and exposed. That's the thing of putting it, and this experience, like this this haunts us. I mean, I don't have nightmares over it, but what we've experienced, just
true meaning of haunting now.
Yeah.
It follows you home.
Yeah.
Can't stop thinking about it.
100%. I haven't started editing the video, so when I start doing that, then I'm going to revisit everything all over again, and
it'll be like that vicarious trauma, but in a sort of good way. Like it's not trauma so much, but it's that vicarious reliving that experience. And sometimes, I know for me, with experiences I've had, if it's that I've caught something on camera in a photo or something like that, I don't even know it at the time. When you go back and look at it, you actually feel more afraid than what you did at that time, whether you felt that thing there or not. And it's like, oh, fuck. Okay. Yep. Okay. The computer's going to freeze now, and I'm just going to go and make a coffee. Like it's just that, like, nope. But I love that. And that's so with what you guys were saying, like I've seen those reels, and I'm, watching the videos as they're coming out, and you can really see like when it's like that, I can't fucking explain that. And that's what I love about the work that you guys do with it. As the final candle flickers and the night settles around us, our date with Monique and Anthony leaves behind more than just goosebumps. It leaves echoes. From shared glances in shadowed hallways to the subtle stirrings of something unseen. In this Part 1 interview episode, it was a dance between connection and the paranormal. The veil may be thin, but the bond between curious souls is even stronger. So, Part 1 may end here, but the night isn't done whispering. In Part 2, the atmosphere deepens. Monique and Anthony return as the energy shifts, more personal, more potent, and undeniably strange. What began as a playful exploration takes a turn into the uncanny, with moments that defy explanation and stir something ancient. So, until next time, the veil opens wider, and what steps through might just change everything. So stay tuned for Part 2.